just have to have faith. It'll work. But I guess I'll never know. Ain't that a bitch? Let's run one more.
That song. Honestly, it hits every time, doesn't it? Today we're talking about Red vs. Blue. Created in 2003, Red vs. Blue was a groundbreaking series, especially for its time. You can tell that in the first season, everyone is just loose characters based on a friend group who is just literally trying to screw around and laugh and have a good time. I actually perfectly found this video that describes what happened when they posted a show for the first time.
So we made 2 little 5-minute, no, they were about 2 minutes back then.
About 2 minutes apiece.
Yeah, 2 minutes each, and we put them on the web, and they were just funny little sketches that we wrote, and then we used Halo to animate them. I think the first week we had 2,000 hits, and then we had, I think, 3,000 hits in a day, as we realized it was kind of starting to take off, and then the next day we had 50,000 hits, and so we started doing a weekly series pretty quickly.
They knew what they had was special, and they had to capitalize on it. There was passion behind it. It was just these guys hanging around, writing jokes that stand up to this day. After season 1, they knew they had a hit on their hands. And from one season, the show evolved and evolved until the creator, Bernie Burns, eventually thought the ship was just ready to sail without him. As one of the head creators stepped away, him wanting to kind of just live his own life, he thought, you know, he did his part. He wrote the story he wanted to tell. Now kind of just let a new team step in and take over from there. He thought they could at least maintain what they had, if not slightly get better. But
you can't.
It's fine because 14 had some cool episodes. He said the C word. I thought it was just like a joke season, but after we got out of this joke season, there wasn't anything to really catch me. It's sad, especially with seasons 16, 17, and 18. Like, I'm watching it for the first time and like, what the fuck is happening? Just at this point, just make a new show or end it on a finale. Bernie did not want to show that he created with heart with all of his friends and just slowly drift off and just be forgotten about. So he came back to write one more season to really make sure he hits home with the characters that he does love and so many people grew up on. So now let's talk about this chapter that finally wraps up one of the most iconic web series of all time. This is Red vs. Blue Restoration. We start the season off by them bringing us to this world's version of RTX, RetroCon. This is pretty cool. I wasn't expecting to get thrown into this. I was expecting like the Res and Blues or something simple, but hey, it's a cute little experience, just a little weird. So we learned from the introduction that the Shizno Paradox and Zero were simulations Epsilon was running. But then Dylan Andrews appears, the reporter from season 15, which is fine. She can still exist, but she's a little different from our straightforward journalist we had before. Her character is just a little off. It's almost like she's kind of mixed with Jax in the sense of being in love with films. She's now making a movie about the Res and Blues, and it's a little weird, but do what you got to do to get plot going, you know, exposition and whatnot. There's this funny joke a guy says, which kind of sounds to me like anyone that somehow joined the show after season 13. I couldn't even imagine.
Online rumors say these guys, the Reds and Blues, were actually based on real bozos. Is that like legit?
Is that like legit? Like, there's people that started watching this show that probably have that question. However, after all of this, she does bring out Kaikana? It has to be Kaikana. Or Sister. Apparently, this is where Andrews is getting all of her Red versus Blue information from Sister, so oh god. Which was cool to see again. She always pops back up in randomly time for time, and she was almost a main character in the Shizno Paradox, but I'm kind of glad she never stuck around for too long. Just my personal opinion, she wasn't really like main character vibe. She was almost just there, but not close enough. And then the meta appears.
You bitches are on your own. Everybody force stop!
Please evacuate the building immediately.
Epic.
This is an emergency. Please do not approach any of the explosions. The fire is very hot. It will burn you.
Wow. Sick VFX. Dope cosplay, bro.
And hey, they get right into it. Explosions, chaos, even though there's like 6 people in the building. He ends up showing up looking for the Reds and Blues, and they aren't there, so he kills Andrews and leaves. Yep, I hope you didn't like that character, because that's how she joins and ends in the new timeline. Now we are finally brought to the Reds. Back to normal casualness I missed. Just starting off with some nice regular RvB banter from the Reds, easing everyone in.
This is exactly what I'm talking about. We're just a couple of inventories away from turning into a chess club, for God's sakes, or even worse. Hey, Simmons, what's the name of that nerdy board game with the stupid dungeons and all the dumb fucking dragons? You know the one I'm talking about. You love it.
First of all, a role-playing game is not a board game. Secondly,
I think I'm starting to see what you mean.
Griff is a little on edge, but that'll be explored later. We are then brought to the plot team. I mean blue team, and by blue team I mean Caboose. Since he is the only one left, Lopez is fixing Caboose's helmet.
Yeah, I agree. Sheila, tell him that I said, me alegro de que estemos de acuerdo.
He says that.
Hey, Oito.
And I actually really like the joke that Caboose can understand and even speak Spanish. I think that's hilarious. With Lopez not being voiced by Bernie, I still think Lopez is just as good of a character as any. He has his lines. I'm sad he's not throughout the entire show. I don't know why like him and Sheila don't carry on through this season, but that's fine. They can't throw in everyone, I guess. They're trying to do what they can.
Even with no budget.
While fixing the helmets, a message appears from who else but Epsilon, asking for everyone's help.
An even brighter light! That's what I always wanted! Hi, Caboose. If you're getting this message, that means I probably need your help. And you definitely need mine.
Shit.
Gathering everyone, which just means the Reds, Epsilon explains what is going on. He explains that he is a recording he made before the fight with the meta in season 13. He's been running simulations and he predicted what everyone would say and do.
He ran thousands and thousands, maybe even hundreds of thousands of simulations of the Reds and Blues, whether they be in the past seasons, 13 and onwards, whatever you want to think. But due to this, he can respond to pretty much anything due to leaving just almost infinite memories of responses to the Reds and Blues in Caboose's helmet. And hey, it's cool. It's a smart, decent way to weasel yourself back into the story.
We even saw a couple of these simulations being season 14 and onward. They actually also hint to this season being a simulation if you want to take that route.
but how do we know we aren't one of those simulations, like right now?
Oh, no, you're not. You're definitely real.
Did you tell all the simulations they were real?
No?
Why did you pause?
This is kind of nice because you can take it any which way. You could believe that the series ended maybe after Blood Gulch, or you can believe it ended at 13 and they actually never got out. I don't know. You could take it so many different ways. Maybe this whole season is just a simulation, and even they hint on it, and even the teaser trailer does.
I like to think it's not a simulation. I like to think this is their ending just from how this season goes, but they give this line towards Caboose since he got a new voice actor.
Yeah, it didn't matter. I cannot accurately model what the hell is going on between those two ears. It's like the universe's greatest encryption. It can't be cracked. And I'm not even sure I got his voice right this time.
So I just thought that was funny. I know everything was rough at Rooster Teeth towards the end, but out of all people, Caboose not having his original voice actor really hurt this season, I think. It's still good. His lines are fine. It's just not Caboose, you know what I mean? Like, there's no other way to put it. But here we go down exposition hell of a video I'm not even sure I wanted, but I think honestly Bernie had a lot of fun with.
Well, I'm sorry to tell you that the soldier in question is in fact the meta. That's right, he's back. Nope, that's it. Turn this off.
When he deconstructed himself for the fragments, it gave Tucker the power to defeat the enemies to get out alive in season 13. We all know this. They did that off screen. Whatever, wish we saw that. The AIs, when recreated, only know one thing, and that's to recreate the meta. They need to collect all the fragments. The only thing they know, because that's the only thing they remember.
Having all those personalities in his head will slowly drive Tucker insane, and now the AI are trying to combine again, and he's turned evil.
So now the meta has all of the AIs. It has something to do with Felix, like the military forces behind Felix, Charon Industries. I'm not really sure, because this line was a little weird.
Also has access to all the resources and intelligence of the Charon Corporation. Please stop talking. And the mercenary known as Felix. I hope there is a funny cat somewhere in this video. Shut up, Caboose.
I guess it just means the military forces behind Charon, but what do I know?
Maybe talking about Felix's assets, but I don't know. I don't think it's that crazy of a point. I think they just wanted to cram him in there for one last story send-off.
them also having control of Tucker, the one who knows, everything about the Reds and Blues, their personality trait, they're going against every bad thing they could tackle. They just want it to be one good send-off, so they're grabbing every biggest and baddest thing they know, grabbed a blender, threw it in there, and said, all right, this is it. How do we work around this? So now we have half of the main cast being Griff, Simmons, Sarge, and Caboose, because every other character is either not being used or somewhere else off screen. I don't know. I wish Tucker was included more. I know his role is still important, but he's not used. It's not Tucker. Like, I just feel like they're missing things here and there, but right now, we just have our 4 characters against all odds.
Kind of terrifying. Your only chance is to use my knowledge to defeat the meta and destroy the rest of the AI fragments once and for all. So what do you say, Reds? Will you help us?
Well, that is if the Reds wanted to help. This part feels weird because I thought the Reds and Blues have moved past the rivalry. I know Sarge is obsessed with it, but even he preached about it in Season 8, how everyone should move on and how we're all just a team, there's no more freelance or whatnot. So it's odd for them to hesitate now, but I assume it's just for a dramatic build-up. They just want to build up the moment where they obviously flip it. Simmons eventually convinces the team to help, pointing out that the meta is just a threat to everyone if they let it loose. So if they don't handle it now, it's going to kill them later. This is also a whatever take, not the reason I was hoping for. Maybe the years they spent together, some other thing, but whatever. They finally meet up with Caboose.
Hey, we're decided to help you guys.
No! Sarge?
Why are you shooting at me?
Oh, sorry, muscle memory. I didn't even know I was doing that.
I swear, his voice actor killed it this season.
Fantastic. Thanks, Reds. I knew you would do it. Literally, I knew that you would do this.
Yeah, we figured the fate of all humanity might be worth teaming up with you guys.
Guy. One guy.
Oh, right. Teaming up with you, Guy. Wow, that sounds way better. Thanks, Griff.
We figured out we got to go get some equipment from that ship, the staff of Sharon or whatever. They don't know how to get there, but 479er makes a surprise return. Sheila decides to call 479er for transport since, she had some old flavors from her freelancer time. It was really cool to see 479er again. She's been hiding since Project Freelancer ended. Nothing too excited with her story after Project Freelancer, but I guess everyone doesn't need a crazy story, so it's great to see her again.
Yeah, you guys are lucky that I was available and that I owed your girl a favor. Been pretty slow for me lately.
Been slow? You mean since the rogue military organization that you worked for was shut down and you had to go into hiding? That kind of slow?
Hey, we all worked for the same place.
I guess technically that's true.
The plan is to retrieve the memory unit, hoping it can stop the meta. Simple enough. Grab it, put it on them, all the AIs are sucked out. Done. During the journey, I really enjoyed the callbacks to Sarge's ridiculous plans on Griff's death always being involved, and then Caboose's confetti gun that I also forgot about.
Oh man, I forgot about that.
It's just classic moments like this that just reminded me why I love this show. Once the team arrives on the ship, there's a bit about how the security actually works from home since they can do 99% of their work there. But then Griff obviously points out the last 1%. This joke was funny, but then it just went on for way too long, which a couple of the jokes do this season, but this one was just over 5 minutes. It's just one joke.
Hey, this is just unlocked.
Hey, freaks, that's a restricted area.
Hey, how about you shoot me an email telling me how much trouble I'm in for doing this?
The team makes their way through the ship and finds its way to the storage section, searching through the items from Combat Evolved days like health packs and teleporters and just other freelancer relics, until they find the meta's armor.
Like a replica? Like a scale model?
But full scale?
Yeah.
We are so fucking dumb.
Yeah, that's the meta.
Yeah, so obviously the fight begins. It's not the best fight scene. The animations feel stiff and the pacing is a little off. Given the rush production and the limited budget, I get it. They just wanted to get it out. The animation is passing to where it doesn't really take me out of it. Just how everyone moves, you can tell it's not fluid, and there's a lot of downtime in the fights where characters are just standing there, or in any other fight. Every character was always doing something, whether that be moving, shooting, getting ready to do something. It was just all good. I give the animation a B overall. It's not awful, it's not great, but it's just enough to not get me thrown out of it.
Tucker,
Tucker.
Don't call us that.
Caboose! I can't stop it! Don't feel bad afterwards.
As Caboose gets grabbed by Tucker, we start to see glimpses at Tucker trying to breach through in order to save his friend. Yeah, this never comes up again. I was originally thinking like maybe it was justified, but this is even after they tortured Tucker for 10 years. I think it would have made sense to show this moment of him almost breaking through and like escaping the AIs. And then after everyone escapes, he gets punished by the AIs for slipping through. Then they torture him, but that's just a thought. Caboose really gives a sad speech during this moment, which is honestly really sad. And the Reds are just watching. They're just standing there watching. And in shocking turn, the Reds actually decide to abandon Caboose. This come on, this was kind of out of character. They've been through crazier battles and stick with each other through way more horrible times.
Like, listen to this quote and then tell me this same exact man is going to abandon one of his friends.
Telling you to go. I'm not even asking.
You're not?
Nope. I'm going. That's it. You want to come? Then come on. But I don't expect you to. Simmons will probably tell you that statistically, some of us will probably die.
All of us.
All of us will probably die. But that's not what's important. Let me ask you two a question. You ever wonder why we're here?
But all of a sudden, he's getting choked, and they're just like, all right, well, time to leave. Like, come on. I don't know. I thought this moment was definitely a little sour. However, I know what they're leading to.
Before he comes after one of us!
One of us.
Shine the light where I'm looking. Got it. Sir, we're all set. Let's get out of here. Sir?
Sarge?
Yeah, they built that up, and they obviously had to pay it off. Sarge decides to run back, saving Caboose, and trying to take on the meta.
With some more little callbacks while he's fighting, he's taking on the meta like a badass. They are building him up in this moment. He pins him with a bubble shield and grabs Caboose and actually starts to escape.
We gotta go. Man, I am killing these one-liners right now. Ha! We made it! Can you believe it? Boy, that was a close one.
Sarge?
Well, dang it.
So yeah, the meta stabs Sarge through the door.
This actually caught me off guard. Like, I was not expecting this at all. One of the main characters that is actually dying. No bullshit, no ghost, no I'm coming back or I'm alive. Sarge is actually dying. Some people don't like this scene, but I think it's played out very well. I get how some could have wanted a less serious death with like more hidden jokes, or that one callback from earlier in the show with Griff jokingly being Sarge's son, but I think the seriousness feels really good here.
Thank you for rescuing me, Sarge.
Just don't tell anyone I helped the Blue, and we'll call it even. Here. Simmons, I want you to have this.
Sir, I can't.
Yes, you can. They need a leader. A real leader. And you're ready. You've been ready for a long time.
Thank you, sir.
Griff.
Here, Sarge.
I know. I wasn't always easy on you.
Not really ever, no.
I did all that because I always knew you could be better. You always sell yourself short. But I believed in you. I was hard on you because I always believed in you. Even when you didn't believe in yourself. Remember that for me.
Simmons and Caboose and Griff, all their goodbyes, it was just really good. I can feel how serious this is for Sarge. I don't know if I'm reading too much into it, but they do a good job at making me actually feel for the character. He's not going to give some BS to Griff right now. It's an actual serious time that he needs to be serious for. It was his last moment, and there was no times for jokes. It was just straightforward Sarge giving inspiration, like, honestly, he always does. But this kind of scared me from the season on, because now anyone was on the line. If Sarge can die, I was looking out for, I don't know, Caboose could have died. Griff could still die. I don't know. I was starting to get nervous by this point. Following Sarge's death, the team travels somewhere and where else for the final battle but Blood Gulch. It's the perfect setting for the final moments of the series. I don't even know how I didn't see this coming. Tying everything back to the roots of the show. Oh, come on.
How are we not excited to be back here? But on bad terms, Griffin's Himans have buried Sarge, marking the grave with a tombstone and a speaker that plays random vague southern insults.
Oh, it's got that.
Hey, numbnuts, you call that grief? Drop and give me 40 boo-hoos!
It's perfect.
Standing there, they reflect on Sarge and what he taught them, with some more just cute moments. Just, I don't know, they're really delivering here. Simmons being declared the new leader of Red Team due to Sarge's passing. With his promotion, he grants Griff the permission to leave.
This is from me. It's my first official order as the new leader of Red Base Blood Gulch Outpost number 1.
Oh, you're gonna make me clean the toilets.
No, I'm discharging you.
This moment is surprisingly emotional. Griff has wanted this for so long. It's been littered throughout the series, time and time again, even strongly being talked about earlier this season. Probably just to build this up even more, but he was so done with everything, and everyone knew it. He was on this base for 3 months, I guess, just doing jack shit, so I get why he wanted to be done earlier, but Griff asks Hemmons to come with. The fight's over.
We failed. The Meta's got the recovery unit now, and he just wants his computer thing. He doesn't care about anything else.
But I care. Sarge cared. He went back for Caboose, and I think in the end he realized it didn't matter if he was red or blue. He saw someone in trouble and he helped. That's what a leader does, and that's what I'm gonna do. You know, I probably won't win, but I have to try. Otherwise, what is all this for? Why are we here?
It's a mystery.
One of life's greatest.
This just once again hits so nicely. And after thinking about it, Griff of course decides to stay. We then cut to Caboose, who has been doing his own little mission. You see, while on the ship looking for the capturing unit, Caboose is snooping around, suspiciously grabbing a memory unit for his own plan. This suspicious little thing that Caboose was doing actually aided in the Reds deciding to leave him, so it wasn't all that random. They thought he was being sus. They're like, all right, let's leave the sus Blue.
Just what are you up to, Blue?
Nothing. No thing. Not anything.
I don't think that's a good enough reason to leave him, but I guess they're trying to give something. With this memory unit and finally returning to Blood Gulch, Epsilon tells Caboose what's next. See, since there was a body at Blood Gulch that became Lopez at Red Base, there was another body at Blue Base, ready for the taking. So now, it's just time to get work on bringing back Church.
Meta will know about this too, so there won't be much time. Listen closely. I'm gonna tell you how to bring me back.
Let me just say, Bernie, who wrote this season, I think has done a fantastic job at trying to tie as much stuff as he can here and make the story work. Obviously, his baby is the freelancer, so he's trying to tie as much in that he knows, and he's doing a good job. Yeah, he misses a few things he could have done here and there, but it can't be perfect. I think he does everything that he needs, because he was not letting this end at a sour note.
What do you want? Oh, I don't know, Miles. Maybe I want to save the legacy of my inspiring career from the millennial hacks that have taken over my show. You know, back when we worked on Red vs. Blue, we actually gave a shit. Isn't that right, Jeff?
Moving on to the final night of Blood Gulch. Oh, dude. For these characters, I can't imagine how many nights they must have spent here, just hanging out with their own teams or even each other. Simmons and Griff meet up with Caboose, who is around a campfire with a memory unit, clearly upset. Caboose is just going on and on about all they have to do is remember. Remember all the things they have done, all the adventures, and this will help build an AI from memories. A little iffy on the idea, but alright, I'll roll with it. I think it's a little too easy to create a whole AI, again, just based off memories and just have it work, but whatever.
Hey, he clearly needs this, and maybe, I don't know, maybe this could be good for all of us?
Yeah, sure.
I don't know if they're directly speaking to the audience at this point, but taking a second and remembering where you were through any part of the Red vs. Blue series is honestly crazy. To just take it and be like, yeah, like I had a good time with this show, and just remembering all the good parts. It is a good moment that they're trying to make you enjoy everything they built.
Okay, Caboose, we're in. What do you need us to do?
Just remember.
Like, remember him?
Or us, what we did when we were all here.
This is just once again, another fantastic moment that had me remember all of the old seasons of the show. I don't really think it's corny. It's just a nice moment fit for a final season of a show this long.
Clouds are high and they're wispy, just enough to make you miss me.
I think this moment hit like a truck. Maybe I'm too invested, but I think it hit home. But now it's sunrise and it's time for the final fight. Besides Caboose, he has one little story to tell, but Griff and Simmons prepare their weapons and they get ready for the fight. Besides where Simmons has this really long joke where he can't pump the shotgun, I think went on for way too long. That could have been shorter, but here we go.
Anyway, there was a big war one day, and the woman had to go fight.
If there's one thing that is going crazy, it's the hit. The meta is hitting like a truck, and it shows. It's a good fight that gets me invested in the characters, obviously, and it's passable. Like, I'm watching it and enjoying it, but obviously it's not to the standards we've had before. The fights before were top tier compared to these ones, but you gotta do what you gotta do, and I'm also worried they could kill off a character now. But back to Caboose. Rambling about one last story, in fact. He's so close to finishing up, and as he's finishing up, he gets grabbed.
But memories are what we leave. And the best memories never die.
Unfortunate.
Because they can. God, and everyone lived happily ever after. No one hurt me. The end. The end.
I love that part. Like, the show still does get laughs out of me, so I gotta say it's a good season then. And the speeches are hitting kind of hard. But as the other two are about to get finished off...
Caboose! Hi, guys. Shotgun.
What shotgun? This shotgun?
No, shotgun. Isn't that your Jeep?
Our Jeep?
Our Jeep!
Okay. The way Griff says that, it makes me laugh every time.
Our Jeep!
But damn, Church can kind of throw a warthog now.
Caboose, you did it! You brought back Church!
Actually, that was never my plan. I brought back something way worse. Hey there, cockbites.
Hell yeah, baby, it's not Church. What the fuck is he gonna do? Bitch and moan the whole time? Nah, Caboose brought back the only chick who has utterly destroyed them every time. I love this part. You know how caught off guard I was and hype at the same time when this happened? Of course they didn't bring back Church again. Good subvert of my expectations, Bernie. This was hype as shit. We get a pretty good fight scene between Tex and the meta, but she is just not standing up to the meta. I mean, 1 AI versus 8, even if they are fragments, yeah, of course she stands no chance. As Tex is thrown out, Griff and Simmons see what they can do, but they're getting pulverized. There's one thing I purposely didn't mention throughout the season yet. You see, Washington has been shown throughout the season in a hospital with Dr. Gray and Doc. We learn he's being treated for his previous battles and has been in the hospital for a long time, the 3 months, as long as it's been. He's not all right. It's a little, how do I say, insane? He has to watch Maine, one of the people that have destroyed all of his friends and sent him through a sad internal struggle, just be on the loose.
And let him know you're seeing things. I mean, what things you are seeing.
Doc, tell her! I'm not making this up!
Agent Washington? David, what did I tell you? I am treating you. You're my responsibility. With all due respect, you need to listen to me.
It's like the way everything is written, I can tell they did a good job trying to figure out what to do with his story, and it's good. I was confused the entire season, but I just feel like I wanted Wash to do more. Maybe just a personal thing. I like Wash. Like, maybe he's gonna, like, I don't know, like, break out earlier, do anything helpful, but instead of doing anything like that, they just keep him in the hospital the whole season. That isn't until the end fight. Somehow, Doc and Washington find their way to Blood Gulch, as Doc knew where the meta was going, which, watching the full season, makes absolutely no fucking sense, but they had to get them here somehow. I do think Wash's story could have been handled better. Usually, I'm the type of guy who's happy with what he gets. Like, at the end of the day, it's the creator's vision. It's just their story. We can't change it. It's how it is. But you can tell bits and people were rushed and they had that deadline. Anywho, once at Blood Gulch, Washington jumps off the fucking canyon to activate his recovery beacon. I thought Wash was the smart one. I thought he had a little brain on his shoulders, but I guess the hospital time really did a number on him. Or Bernie just didn't care and wanted to wait for the cavalry to arrive.
You guys think we can't just give up. We have to do something.
At this point, what do you want to do? Pray? Make a wish? Throw a penny in a well? Hope something falls out of the goddamn sky?
Okay, seriously, did you know that was gonna happen?
Not another one.
Carolina is back and she starts also tearing shit up. Just more badassery from the other chick that we haven't seen. I wish she was in this earlier. I don't know why she just left, because for fun, I guess. Even though Wash was in the hospital, this and that. But she's also one of the most interesting characters in the series. So I'm shocked that they didn't bring her back at all until the end, just for the fight. And she gives a really good speech later that I love hearing, but I just wish they could have fit more in. I just keep craving just a little bit more. I don't know if that's from me wanting more for the show or the season not giving enough. But back to Carolina. Finally, she's here. Instead of being gone all season, she starts fighting with the meta and kicking some ass. But as Carolina is struggling to hold her own after a bit, a weakened Tex looks at a portal, and with yet another callback...
Holy shit, the teleporter! She's back!
In black.
That, plus the callbacks, plus how just badass the music is, I love this. Together, they take on the meta. I really like how at first they are starting to struggle really bad by hitting each other and not any hits, but instantly adapt when they say together and start just popping off.
Together!
I guess we're doing this today.
It's simple. The whole season is simple, but I'm here for simple for the final season. I'm glad he just brought it to roots and finished it out. Caboose attempts to help Carolina and Tex, and in normal Caboose fashion, it is absolutely no help, and he shoots a rocket at a mountain, reminiscent of the fight from earlier in the show, directed by Monty, and oh my God, it's badass. It definitely doesn't live up to that fight, but surviving the environment while attacking an enemy, it worked then, it works now. However, it doesn't work for Carolina, who gets knocked down, giving the meta the advantage. And hey, the fight has progression. I can't say I'm not enjoying it. Tex is being badass again, and I think this is even a slight callback to that fight I was just talking about as well. But Tex eventually gets caught up and then berated by the AIs about how awful she is and how she'll ever be destined to die and about how she is just a shadow and will always fail. But this time is different.
This time, I'm not based on his memories. I'm based on theirs. And I always kick their asses.
I utterly love this part again. It is a good way to bring back Tex and really add her to the good send-off list. Just another good callback. As Tex continues beating the ever-living fuck out of meta, Simmons has the amazing chance to throw the recovery unit to Tex. I like this moment as it's just adding another character to the good send-off list, even more so, just boosting Simmons and making sure everyone's check-marked on that little list they have. Even my favorite Washington line gets to come back.
That is the best throw ever of all time.
Yeah. That nerd has a really good arm.
I wish this moment was given to Donut, but obviously Donut not being in the season kind of sucks, and he only has one line in the season, but you can't solve everything, I guess, so I just gotta take what I got. Low-key, I think we're lucky we got a season at all. With the company how it was, I was thinking we might not even got a season, so I can understand a couple things. You can't bring back every character with each of them having a great story for one season. I get they were under a time crunch with also no budget and Warner Bros. Down their neck. They did what they could. But another callback, as well as Tex slamming Tucker like she did before in the other fight. I just love all these callbacks and can eat them up all day. The unit is activated and the AIs are sucked in. Including Tex, who was 10 feet away. I thought this thing had to be in contact with AIs, and that was the whole point. But whatever, I guess I'll just ignore that fact, because they couldn't have her in the ending. It'd be too much. I'll also ignore it because the send-off with Church and Tex was all I needed from these two characters.
Wait, how did I get here? What's going on?
It's okay.
I was trying to help them, I think. Did it work?
Don't worry about that. I'll tell you all about it. We'll have plenty of time in there. For us, plenty of time.
My name is Leonard, by the way.
It's nice to meet you, Leonard. My name's Allison. Allison Church.
It was once again another great moment. Tex finally referring to herself as Allison and Church calling himself Leonard and them just walking into the abyss. I hope they had like infinite AI time to spend with each other. I know it's a show and I shouldn't think about it like this, but I just like to think these stories are alive and real. And after that, the meta is finished. Moving on, Tucker's finally out of the meta armor.
I got pretty fucked up, huh?
Well, let's just say at the moment you're a little more ow sicka ow ow than bow chicka bow wow.
Because of this extraction, he forgot all of the time he was the meta, so that's cool, I guess. Can't have a happy ending for one of your characters if they're suffering from 10 years of trauma he was put through and from murdering, 2 of his friends, but whatever.
Moving outside the base, everyone's just left thinking about the memory unit.
As the characters discuss what to do with it, because they have no idea, Caboose says this.
She told me what to do. Thanks. Goodbye, Tex. Goodbye, Church.
He destroys the recovery unit, destroying all of the AIs inside of the machine. Like, I get Caboose is sad, but Carolina literally has to destroy the last almost physical memory she had of her mother, and like the closest thing to a real person. But it's broken. Stopping this cycle of AIs always coming back. This time it's for good. The AIs are really destroyed. Church is really gone. The show is really over.
You did the right thing, Caboose.
I know. The right part is the part that is the sad part.
Caboose!
Let him go, Wash.
From this, Caboose walks away and we are left with Carolina and Washington. Now I'm kind of just stuck feeling probably how Caboose is feeling. But it gets worse. It's at this time Wash thanks Doc for being there for him, and Carolina brings us all the reality check.
You know, Wash, you don't have to feel guilty about what happened on Chorus.
I know.
Doc saved you because that was his job. It is not your fault that he didn't make it out of there.
She's right, you know.
It's at this point we learn that Doc has been dead this whole time. This hit me like a truck because I didn't know for sure throughout the entire season whether he was or he wasn't. I genuinely couldn't tell. I had my suspicions, but... And how else did they fucking get to Blood Gulch then? You're telling me Washington followed Doc all the way to Blood Gulch even though Doc wasn't really there? So Washington was technically doing it himself? I don't know. Whatever. I don't know if this is like a Mason from Call of Duty story with like Reznov and whatever, but I feel like Wash has been through a lot more death in his life to where Doc is just another add-on. It wouldn't really like cripple him like this, you know what I mean? I guess with him believing he did it and like he's the reason he died, it's just hitting him way harder. Carolina is trying to support him. She probably gives one of the best speeches in the series, and it's just send-off city from here.
We've all lost someone. You've lost a lot, Wash. But the memories, the people that defined your life, that made you who you are, you keep a piece of that. Always.
Hold on to them in your heart. Remember the things they taught you. Pull from their strength. Learn from their mistakes. And grow from the special moments you had and the time that you were together. And remember that even though they are all gone, we are still here. And that's all that matters. We made it through.
It's actually a super emotional speech that has a really good message. You even hear from freelancers like North and CT almost telling the viewer that even though the show is dead, remember all these characters and what they taught you throughout the years. Remember the happiness they gave you. And this goes for any type of memories. Another great conclusion to a great set of characters. We're back to Griff and Simmons, giving their final goodbyes, and as the music plays, the heartfelt moment builds, and it's just a really good moment here between these two, and, well, here it is.
Well, Simmons, if you ever find yourself back on Earth...
I won't.
I know. But if you do.
Okay. Sure.
Hey, Simmons?
Yeah?
Did you ever figure it out? Why we were here?
Nah, still a work in progress for me, I suppose. How about you?
No, I never did figure it out. But I did reach one conclusion.
And? What was that?
If I did have to be here, I'm just glad I was here with all of you.
Good enough.
Permission to go AWOL forever, sir?
Permission granted. Private Griff of Blood Gulch Outpost Number 1, on behalf of the glorious Red Team, I thank you for your service, and I relieve you of your duty. Private, you are dismissed.
Hey, Red! You stink! You quitting? Yeah, suck it, Blue. I'm leaving.
Okay, beat it. Psst. Bye, Griff. I will actually miss you, but don't worry, I won't tell anyone.
Goodbye, Caboose. Hey, Caboose, I just want to say, after all was said and done, you blue guys, you actually seemed like pretty decent dudes. I'm sorry about all the, the war stuff. No hard feelings?
That's okay. You guys weren't very good at it anyway.
No. No, I don't suppose we were.
I was basically in tears at this point. I don't care, I'll say it. I've been so invested in all of these characters for so long. The show has just meant so much over the years. I was that invested seeing all of this. From waking up early in the morning just to catch it on TV because it actually ran on a specific channel at a specific time, and I woke up just to see it because it was so cool to see a show that I love so much and that is coming from such an awesome community actually make it to TV. I got into the series around season 5 right before the kick-ass animation started. I rewatched all until then and started from there. And let me tell you, that moment blew my mind. I can probably say the show just kept evolving. Watching edits on Vine and actually feeling like I was a part of some community, the show really meant a lot to me. Even with the fall off, even though I didn't watch the show, I still thought of it fondly. I still love the show. I may not have watched it, but I only thought of the good parts because it was just that good, like everything before season 13. And the last season, it may not be a perfect season, but seeing it come to an end is just heartbreaking and satisfying at the same time. It's a final goodbye to these characters I've grown to love, and I just couldn't ask for a better send-off. Shout out to the Red vs. Blue archive, because now I have an archive of my own. But hope you guys enjoyed the video, and thanks for watching.
What's up, Forever Alone? So, you want to do something with your life, or you just want to sit around on your ass all day like a loser? Yeah, me too. So, just subscribe and keep watching YouTube. It's way easier.